Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes, let's
love.
We're back.
Well, we're not back. This is the second show.
I'm gonna say
you
that.
Never get this
I'm
right.
gonna say that from now on. We're back.
You can say whatever you want. It's your birthday week.
It's my birthday week.
Ooh.
Can you, because it's my birthday week?
Yeah.
Can you not talk over me?
Sure. Sure. Did you? I noticed when I got your mail. Did you sign up on the AARP mail that came today? Just want to make sure.
No. I do get those magazines though.
Really?
Yes, you probably
you're
do too.
2 years off, so
I'm not 48 years old. Again, you're 18 months younger than I am,
you know what? Your birthday
which
week,
is negligible.
It's true. We're practically the same age.
And probably the real age, since people always think you're the older person
Yes.
when we meet.
I've heard so many.
Yeah. They're like, how much
People
older are
say
you?
that.
4 years?
So many people
Uh-huh.
always say that to me. Like, I get it all the time.
Aren't you the dowdy older sister?
Yeah, that's usually always what I get. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yo, this is reality gaze. We're back.
This is unreality gaze.
We're
Yo,
back.
This is Toe.
This is my birthday week. It's going to be unreality by one.
It's
this is Toe.
season 3.
Is Toe.
Season 3, episode 7.
T-O-W.
Something Poodle, and honestly, I have both been the other woman. I think Poodle's been more than me. I only did it once.
I was thinking about this when you are the other woman, and you find out you're the other woman, or you're part of they're in an open relationship and you're kind of the third, but you've never met the other person.
That's what happened. He told me he was in an open relationship. I thought, and I said, okay. Because you kind of have to just go off what he said. And y'all, he had a huge dick and he was amazing in bed.
And then you forgot what he would say after that.
And then I found out he was married to a woman.
Yep.
And that's when I went,
DL?
I can't do this.
DL?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anymore, except for this last time. And then I can't do this.
One more time.
One more time.
One more
time.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm gonna say it now.
It's not.
Especially when there's an angry boyfriend sending you texts that says, "What are you doing with my husband?" or with my boyfriend.
I never got that.
Yeah, you just need to avoid all that. Or you see them view you on apps like Scruff or Grindr. You see the ex view you, or you see the partner, and you've never said we're going to meet. It's not going to be a threesome or anything like that. You just see them, and you're like, "What are you looking at me for?"
How did you get pulled into these things?
I don't as a rule anymore. I don't as a rule.
Goodness.
Yeah. It's too hard, y'all. It's just they will involve you in their mess.
They will.
And I think you can have a three-way relationship or an open relationship if you just have to, your boundaries have to be so strong and specific.
Much more than Nicole and Deontay's from Love After Lockup.
Yikes.
Do you think he's going to do it? End up doing it?
No.
I think he's going to try it.
I don't think he'll be able to.
I don't think he'll be able to, but I think he's going to try it.
I don't think so.
Y'all, Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, great
Y'all,
show.
We talked about the single life on part 1 of this episode. We won't go into all that. Comes on November 15th.
Yes, we won't be covering Ed. So just so you know,
Right.
you don't need to watch it. You don't need to, we won't be covering him at all. But we will be talking about everybody else. So
Yep.
we're excited. It's going to be on our Patreon and our Supercast we're doing what Discovery Plus does. So it's coming out on our Patreon and
I
Supercast.
think what 9 Day Cray Cray did as well.
Yeah, and then whenever it launches, and when it
On
like 3 months-
TLC.
on TLC,
Because they run it on TLC about 4 to 6 months after they
we'll
put it
drop
on
it on the
Discovery
free
Plus.
feed. So that's the way it's going to work. So that's November 15th. We've got Below Deck coming October
Below
25th.
Deck.
And Winter House.
OG Below Deck.
OG
with
Below
Captain
Deck.
fucking motherfucking hot ass Lee.
I've never met him. I know nothing about
Oh.
him. I think I might have to bring out my old dildo. Yes.
He's so hot.
He's pretty hot. So that's exciting. And I'm actually looking forward to Winter House. We're going to be raw dogging you on that free feed.
It's a lot of free feed stuff. Yeah.
So a lot of free feed stuff. So
You're gonna get 2 90 days, a Winter House,
4
and-
shows
Yeah,
for free.
4 shows a week.
There you go.
Because we're gonna lose Darcy and Stacy.
Yeah.
we lost that this.
We're
past
going to
week.
get them in January though.
I've never heard of a season turnaround that quick.
As Sissy Jordana said this week, she said, I frantically was looking for another podcast and then your extra episode, and then I realized Darcy and Stacy is over. I could just hear it in her voice like, ooh.
Y'all, also, we're going to be talking about, the video hasn't been, I think, tonight I think it's released, or it's
I think
out.
Bears All comes out, I don't know what night.
I think it might come out
but
last
it's on
night.
Discovery Plus.
Yes. But y'all, they performed. The Silver
shared it
Twins
on our Instagram.
Performed their single, and it was something to see.
Something to see. So
Now, if you think it's the song of the summer, it ain't.
it ain't. It was.
It's not good.
Especially since it came out in fall. But as Poodle says, it's something to see. It's nothing to hear.
No.
That's a great way to describe it.
They are, quote, fingers, question mark, singing.
So anyway, y'all, but it's on our Instagram. I think Melanated Way, 90 Day the Melanated Way. Follow her for news and gossip and stuff. But we shared her on the Instagram story. Was there something? Oh, Jamie Kimball Foundation is our foundation this month in the Sissy
Charity.
Squad, our charity in the Jamie Kimball Foundation for Courage. We talked more about it on the first episode.
It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
It's Domestic Violence Awareness, and Jamie Kimball. They do a lot of different programs, but one of their main focuses is educating teens on how to see the signs, and also of domestic violence, and how to get out of that, and also how to also just establish healthier relationships. And we love that. We love that proactive approach.
It was interesting. I heard Anita Hill being interviewed on NPR recently, and they were talking about how the work she's been doing is trying to start at the beginning of sexual harassment and domestic violence and things like that, exactly the way the Jamie Kimball Foundation is doing it, by having conversations with younger people and saying, this is not how you behave.
Your
in a
parents might have
relationship.
behaved this way, but
Exactly.
yes.
You're breaking the cycle. And she's been, her program has been going into prisons to talk to, specifically targeting men of color, saying, how do we break a domestic violence? How do we break
That's wonderful.
this? And she's like, because in prison, you're not going to be taught any other solution but violence.
We've seen that from Lalu.
Right.
We've seen that, yeah.
So
Good for her.
Yeah, so that's what she's been doing. It was interesting to hear that on that interview this
Can you
week.
post that in the squad?
I will.
Thank you.
I will.
I would like to listen to that.
Yep.
Any other announcement, Poods? Birthday girl?
That's it. Let's move
All right.
on.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Corey and Evelyn.
Corey and Evelyn.
I need to say this. And
oh, no.
I was wondering why, even though, and I will say this, it wasn't nice to see. We've been rather hard on Evelyn.
I felt sympathy for her.
Let me say this. I didn't. And
really?
Let me tell you why. All this feels fake to me. Why? Like I felt it was hard for me to see her crying, but
if it's fake, then she's a really
No, I'm
fucking
saying
good actor.
I think she is sourcing things that did happen for her.
Oh, okay. You think they might be
I'm not
recreated?
saying the storyline is fake.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this is a filmed representation. Nothing of this is happening documentary style like Steven and Alina are happening.
Okay.
When I say it's fake, I'm not saying their emotions are fake. I'm saying...
Are you saying the plot lines are... What's fake to you?
What's fake is us not talking about the timeline.
Yeah, that's a problem. I agree.
And this is a huge problem. 90 Day has been guilty of this in the past.
Yeah.
And let me make my case.
Okay.
Clarence Darrow style. God, I wish I could roll up my sleeves like an old lawyer.
You're not Jimmy Stewart in that movie doing a poodle buster.
So,
What movie was that? Dean Goes to College or the Congress?
Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Same thing.
I never saw it. Anyway, so they got married a year ago.
Uh-huh.
They've been married for a year.
March.
And then at
Said
one
March.
point, they had a fight. Evelin, which Corey says, and she agrees to this.
Yeah.
She said, I don't want to be married to you anymore.
Yeah.
Go do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Go date.
Corey
don't
says,
come back.
She said, leave Ecuador.
Right.
Literally leave the country.
And y'all, we can all see her doing it.
For sure.
Because she loves power moves
There's
like
someone
that.
who said, I hope he stays out in the cold tonight and gets bitten by a million mosquitoes.
Yeah. So we can all see that. Then, the only reason, here's the thing. Exhibit B, the only reason he came back from Peru was to get his shit.
Need to get my surfboards because they got some gnarly waves down there.
But the
South
pandemic
America.
hit, and they needed to hunker down together. They couldn't really go anywhere. And that's when we saw that stuff from quarantine, where they were despising one another.
Oh,
he was still in the other bedroom at that time.
Yeah.
So then they said they worked on their relationship, slowly became back to wedded bliss. Now, then he basically, in the interim, said, again, I'm not defending Corey. However, in that time when he's back in that house with her and he's thinking, oh, this is all the good stuff, do you think in a million years someone like Corey is not going to minimize what happened with Jenny?
For sure. We've learned from Stephen, Mormons minimize.
Yeah.
No, not all Mormons. I shouldn't.
So, I'm not saying
Bad joke.
that wasn't wrong, but we can all understand why he did not say that to Evelin.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. Then, of course he's not going to tell her. But then he gets the better of him.
I love how invested you are in this.
No, but here's exactly.
No, but I mean, like, I love how invested we get in this show.
And let me tell you why. This is why I don't care. I'm like, let me tell you how much I care about why I don't care. Because what this show does for me is if it pulls on me, there's a reason that's compelling me. Mm-hmm. This section did nothing for me. And let me tell you, and that's why I'm telling you why now. So, if we're supposed to believe all that happened, we're also supposed to believe that Evelin did, without Corey saying what he did, Evelin forgave him of everything that happened.
Yes.
And also that she did not care what happened when he went away.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, they were done. Period. End of sentence. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if she's got a lot to stand on here.
Oh, she has nothing to stand on. 100%
and that's what I'm
agreed.
saying. She can preach to someone like Corey, who is wrapped around her vagina.
Yeah.
And she knows because that's what she always does. Now, I think she is. Do I think she's honestly hurt? Yes, I do think she's hurt because this hurts her ego more than anything else.
I felt bad when I felt bad. It wasn't like, oh, poor thing going through this. She was so visibly upset.
She's never been the cuckold, y'all. She cucks men.
Yeah. She
sets up the cuckold.
She's crying because she lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, y'all, I've never been that hard on Evelyn. I understand her. This was me in my 20s.
Usually he always says you respect her.
I do. But this goes, one of the reasons why I don't love this part?
She didn't trust her instincts.
This turns Evelyn into a wronged woman, which in a way she thinks is a stronghold, but it's not for her. It flips her ethics a little bit because she's always said when we weren't together, it was fine. So now it's so interesting to me because I was like, I'm not feeling anything and there's a reason. Because I had to think about it a lot. And he's not helping with being shitty and going to talk to Jenny.
Oh, it's horrible.
And don't get me wrong, I am not saying Corey did the right thing, but I also understand why Corey did not tell her what he had done.
Oh, yeah. And because literally, as some sissies wrote me, she's going to cut his balls off.
I thought she was going to cut his dick off.
Yeah. Because she's so aggressive and gets so angry and is so controlling of him.
Yeah. I think that's the thing about she assumes financial stuff all the time. She's like, you're going to pay for this, you're going to pay for that, which I just kind of enjoyed watching her push Surf Jesus around.
Yeah.
And now, you know why I have a problem now? Now she's emotionally manipulating him. And I'd like it less. Because now she's using, it's these, and I'm saying this really carefully. It's not crocodile tears, but it really kind of is. I think she feels hurt, but it's not for the same reasons he thinks she's hurt.
She doesn't feel hurt because she can't trust him. She feels hurt because, again, she lost the game. She feels hurt.
100%.
She feels hurt because she lost control.
She doesn't have the upper hand anymore.
Because he
cucked her.
Because what did we say 6 months ago? Corey, if you ever want to destroy Evelyn, the worst thing you could do is to fuck another woman.
And he did it.
And not only did he fuck another woman, he dated her.
Yep.
He was in a relationship with her.
Yep.
And so because she felt like she had control because she felt like she was his one and only. And he was so enamored with her.
She knew in her heart he would never find someone he loved more than her.
Yeah, it's interesting when she said to him that one, but she's like, what do you think you're like? Because you're blonde and blue eyes that women are going to fall over you, think you're Brad Pitt? And I wrote, but that's what you thought you were to him. This quote unquote exotic.
Yeah.
This is woman that was just entrancing this American stupid man, and you took advantage of him.
This is the first time I have seen weakness from Evelyn, and I'm not saying emotional weakness.
That's why she's crying, because she can't control.
Strategy weakness.
I think she's crying more than anything because she can't control her emotions.
Yes, that's one of the reasons
I
respect her. You guys, is because she's always one step ahead.
Maybe
of
that's
anything
why you don't
she
feel
wants.
anything.
I feel nothing for her
because you lost respect.
Yeah, and well, it's I've never really felt anything with their story anymore. I've always just watched her just like
the last season. Yeah.
But this is, I feel like we're getting to a point where they're trying to make this storyline one of these emotional Jenny. Excuse me. Sorry, that's my...
Sorry, Poodle's neighbor's having a party. We're having a party.
A party for two.
If
you listen carefully, you can hear the guy she's currently fucking, who I talk like this, well, I do his impression. Because he sounds like the stupidest straight man who ever lived.
I really hope one day someone listens to... I mean, luckily, I love all my neighbors. We all get along because a lot of them listen to our show. And so, but
that's like when I wanted to fuck your other neighbor.
Yes.
Whatever happened to him?
He moved.
I know he moved. Wonder what he's doing.
I'm not going to tell you.
Maybe I could record us fucking so I could at least play it for you.
Nope. Nope.
Because part of the allure is that he lived downstairs from
And
you.
Poodle wanted me to be awake at night at like 10 a.m. just hearing, hiya, hiya, hiya.
Can you hear it, Queen? This is pleasure.
I would know how to fix that because I would say, just remember, every time you're down below me, every time you come, I want you to think of me.
I just spit up some bile.
Yeah, fix that. Anyway,
We need to move on. I'm horrified.
Your neighbors always have dogs or loud. I hope none of them listen.
Getting back to this, do you understand where I'm going with this?
No, I 100% see your point.
This was the first time this story turned manipulative for me.
You know what it was? Yes, watching it, I think what I was sad. Yes, she was visibly upset, and it wasn't like more of I'm not liking Evelyn, but it was kind of like. It's like when you're watching, it's like when you were a kid and like watching He-Man or some show and like Skeletor, or you're watching G.I. Joe and like not Snake Eyes, but like the Cobra Commander. But like if you.
So gay.
You're so, but you know how every once in a while they would have like one episode where they like, something happens and they actually like get sad.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't like this.
It's kind of like Tom Hanks in his first dramatic roles. We're all like, what the fuck is this?
What is...
And then he did Philadelphia and we're like, we get it.
That's why I think I felt sad. Just because it was like seeing someone who's just so...
Cartoons. Funny people for our amusement.
Yeah.
And I will say... Surf Jesus trying to have emotion, doing the best he can. And this is the thing.
I will say, because y'all, we meet Jenny, and she is really pretty.
She's wonderful.
She's gorgeous. How is Corey getting these women?
It is interesting.
Because Evelyn is a beautiful woman as well. I do not get it.
He is singular in that area. He is not just white. He is like blonde and blue-eyed. So he is a little more singular. Now, if he's to the farther south, like Argentina and things like that, there are a lot of Europeans down there. And they didn't come just for the weather, if you know what I mean. Like we saw it with Kay from Mark and Kay. I was like, somebody's ancestors might be from Germany. Jesus. Because y'all, the Nazis went all down there. Sorry, that was my dark Nazi reference of today.
They did. Yeah, it's your birthday week. Whatever.
I'm always like, wonder where Kay's family's from.
Yeah. You think Mark and Kay are still together?
Yes! And I will not accept any other answers on my birthday week. You will not say a single word against Mark and Kay. There was an Instagram post that she was in Huntington Beach. Yeah, Huntington Beach. She was
just in time for the oil spill. Hope they get that cleaned up.
That's very sad.
It's
we should
very
not
sad.
Be making light of it.
No, I'm not making light of it. It's like she comes at the worst fucking time
for the oil spill.
Oh, that's so devastating. Anyway,
y'all pray for Huntington Beach. Pray for Orange County to get shit together.
That's going to take a bit.
I know. So let's hit it. But that's my summation. Your Honor, I rest my case.
So much for a 30-minute show, y'all.
I think it can happen.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Corey says he's going to look for a job, but he's actually going to talk to Jenny. And so, y'all, it's been 7 months since he saw Jenny.
And he ghosted her.
But
let me tell you this. The person I feel bad for in this, not Corey, not Evelyn, fucking Jenny.
I don't feel bad for her because she seems fine. She's going on a date after this.
But I'm saying she was treated like shit.
She was, but I think it's, y'all, if you ghost somebody and then 7 months later you're like,
I wouldn't have shown up.
I wouldn't have shown up. This is such a shitty
production
thing
paid her.
To do. I hope she got paid.
Yep.
A lot of money.
So he
or at least a restaurant gift card.
the Ecuadorian equivalent of Bennigan's.
Yes. Yes. Bennigan's. ¿Cómo se dice Cheesecake Factory in Espanol?
When you're like familia.
Yeah.
What is the word for family? People are
Familia.
Is it
Familia,
familia?
yeah.
Yeah, people are screaming.
So she shows up and she's like, "So how are you?" And they kind of, Corey's like, "I want you to know."
Hola, Jenny.
Hola, Jay. I want you to
I'm
know
sorry.
time is real.
Now, I will say his Spanish is getting better. That's a relative term. It's
Really?
better.
Didn't he go on a mission?
Yeah, but he might have not went to Spanish-speaking country.
Maybe he went to it because if he did, he has that
Y'all,
skill.
Corey's
God,
not
he
the
is
brightest
dumb.
bulb. He got it. You know, Corey has a degree in film.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Degree in film.
Y'all, his eyes are so clear because there's nothing behind them.
You know what it is? And I've said this before. He's a relatively attractive straight man. You have to do very little in this world
I don't think he's
to rise above it.
I don't think he's attractive.
I
at
said
all.
relatively attractive.
I wouldn't even say relative. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, he'd be like a 5 for me.
Oh, I think he's higher than a 5. I think you're being, well, you remember you don't usually find white men attractive. So
That's it, though. But
to-
I mean, I still would know if somebody's attractive. And his face just looks kind of like a squunchy mouse face
he's
to me.
at a little doughier than he normally is.
It's not the
here.
body. It's the face. You know I love soft in the middle.
I don't think he's attractive, but I don't think a 5.
But this
where
is
he
why we can be best friends because we never have the same type.
True. I don't know why I'm taking umbrage.
Yeah, I don't
with
know why.
Corey.
I'm like, yeah.
Fuck him.
But anyway, so he's seen her. And he's like, my time was real. I had a lot of feelings for you. And she's like, basically, y'all, to kind of sum this up, she said, yeah, our feelings were beautiful and real.
It was real.
And once I found out that he was...
Which he
me-
told her 2 months later.
2 months later, he finally told me.
That's why I feel sorry for Jenny.
Yeah. 2 months in, he told me that he was not only dating, but he was
married.
separated, but he was married. And I went, no, I'm not going to do that to someone. I don't want to be a part of that.
And apparently, though,
But she does say, our time together was magical. There's nothing to, there's not words to describe it. And I wrote, what am I missing with Corey?
I think-
just his attitude. Like,
I think
he's
those
just a wet blanket.
I think those blue eyes and the blonde hair.
No, that
see
can't
it.
be in. Like, does he just give cunnilingus for
No.
days? Or
But I'm saying,
like
once
when he surfs, does he become Aquaman and is a god in the water?
I'm saying the singularity of someone who looks like he does, who seems like a California
but I'm
dude.
saying not even the look, like his personality. It's literally wet toast.
You can get past that if
Ugh.
you've never seen anyone who's like that.
Y'all, he is horrible in bed,
I know. I totally agree with you.
and his dick is not huge.
It's not. It is.
He has a very
it's
smooth butt.
It's at best a boyfriend dick. At its
Yeah.
best. Which y'all, I'm not faulting boyfriend dick at all.
I love a boyfriend dick.
If you don't know what that is, you can Google it.
At work.
It's something that you could take without a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That you can have every day.
Yeah. Don't need to break out the Crisco for that one, just the KY.
Like a good, brown rice and chicken dick.
Yes. Like a good penis, boyfriend dick is there.
God bless.
God bless.
So Jenny basically says, as soon as I found out he was married, I said, you need to go get your shit together.
Yep.
And if
Peace
you,
be with you, ho.
if you come back, go do what you need to, but I'm not going to get involved in this. If we're meant to meet again, great.
Great.
If we're not. So she kind of did think he would contact her again because he ghosted her.
Yep, ghosted her.
So she's not even really that mad about it.
No.
And the best thing where she says,
Well, it's been 7 fucking months,
right.
so she's
She says,
past
I have
it.
my life, you have yours. And she said, does Evelyn hear about me? Because you really should tell her all the truth. And that's when I wrote down, she's going to chop your dick off if you tell her.
Yeah.
And she's like, but you know what? This has been great, but I gotta go as I have a date.
I have a date.
Baller
Boom.
move.
Boom.
Mic drop.
And she skips off like she's about to join a musical number.
Jenny might be my favorite person in their storyline.
Raul. He's always going to win for me. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, y'all, they come back, and Corey's like, I guess I really need to talk to Evelin about this. I'm going to catch some waves.
There is one thing the producers say. So do you still have feelings for Jenny? He's like, I'm going to need to have a sip or something.
So he starts to, you can't even say the word sip without sounding like Stephanie.
A sip. I want a sip or something. Lady don't believe.
But he's like, his pits are visually sweating when they ask him this.
And the thing is, y'all, you just say, no, I love Evelin.
That's what you say.
And I have feelings for her as a person. It's just
Dirt
so
bag,
stupid.
dirt bag.
It's also fucking yes. It's also like this idea of like yes-anding the thing, and it's I can't stand him.
I don't care for him. He's gross.
So the next day, y'all, they're
day.
doing coconuts at the beach, and this is why this feels fake for me. They're already seemingly pissed at one another. You can already tell she's just going. It feels like they're like, now is the time when you have to tell me about fucking Evelin or fucking.
It's so they're. It's so. By the way, they're having this conversation while they're drinking their coconut. So Corey's kind of like, so yeah, remember that girlfriend I had? Yeah. So anyway,
remember her.
It was very weird. Anyway, they eventually dropped the coconuts. They were distracting to me.
Yeah. And so basically she goes like, it's like, well, we actually had sex and we...
Well, he said it wasn't a one-night thing.
Yeah.
It was more of a serious. And she said, how serious? A few months? And that's when Corey said, she was my girlfriend.
We dated for 2 months. And she starts in with, what the fuck?
I'm going to throw up.
I can't believe... That's why she's a terrible actress. That's why I can't believe this is the first time she's hearing about this.
At first, I was like, okay, she feels like she is acting. But then she started like crying, and I went, this is coming from a place of
that
something.
I believe, that's the thing. I think she was still sourcing it.
Well, this is why I think...
Because I don't think the emotion is fake.
No. I was going to say, but it goes back to what we were saying earlier, what I think supports your theory, and also basically what both of us said, your theory of her and me of saying that she's just angry she didn't win. Y'all, she said, I'm so stupid because he told me he couldn't get it up, and I believed him because I thought maybe he's so into me that he can't get it up for another woman.
Boy,
y'all,
she finger bangs herself to herself.
Yeah, if you think your husband or your boyfriend can't cheat on you because he can only get your dick up for you... Carl, we need to talk.
I have some swampland to show you.
Carl, I got some truth talk on
in
the
Florida.
days.
Yeah.
Swampland in Florida. Yes.
Y'all, dicks go up with a slight breeze.
Yes. What is that children's song that we used to hear about dicks going up, Poodle? What is that song you used to hear? Do, 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 do. And the dick goes up, the dick goes down. It fucks you when you're older all around the town.
Wow. Don't love talking about dirty children's songs, personally. Just me.
That didn't land.
No. I usually... You notice when I refuse to be part of a bit? Y'all, when I can't even know... When I just, like Meredith says, disengage from a bit, you know, when I go, nope, not familiar. And I'm like, maybe he'll drop it. He never drops it. And I'll know it's not going to be good. And you'll actually see me physically recoil.
If you watch an intimate portrait, he did.
I kind of lean back.
Oh, ma'am.
Like when I leaned back after you told me when your mother saw the light go out of your stepfather's eyes. And I went,
Yeah.
One of the truly one of the hardest things one of the most disturbing things I've ever had to hear was when you said it.
Sorry. Speaking of parents, hey y'all, shoot Papa Mars having an outpatient procedure today. We hope that it helps him walk. Shoot him some prayers. I'd appreciate it.
How do they do that?
Thoughts and
shoot prayers out of a chute up in their head?
Going up. But y'all, if you're that self-involved that you think that you can control, come on.
She gave herself away
so
there.
when she said this though, I went, that's what she's upset about. Is
yeah,
that he
totally.
did it.
Totally.
He did it.
So, I guarantee you there's going to be a certain she's not beloved by any means. But there's going to be a certain group of people who have been cheated on before who become Team Evelin, and I just
want to say this is not your story, y'all.
Exactly.
It's a different story,
and so I need you to know.
But that's
where
what
this is
TLC wants us
from.
to do. They want people.
That's what I'm saying.
Men and women that feel wrong to be like to get behind her
because y'all don't be fooled by this.
But y'all, they're both gross people.
Yeah. And
I still would say she's probably the grosser one.
Although
think he looked real shitty in this episode. What he did to Jenny.
I think
they both kind of deserve one another.
They totally do, and I think they're going to be together forever.
Oh, they're not breaking up.
No.
They're going to be together after this.
That's why,
y'all, because she fucked everyone in Pigtown, and she knows she can't get.
She knows she doesn't want anybody in Pigtown,
but she can't get away with this in Pigtown because she's not exotic Evelyn. That Corey just loves her.
Yep. Yep, totally. All the other guys, they know what she's going to do in Pigtown.
Yeah, it's
even,
the whole
even that turtle.
Even that turtle. You know, not again. Please, Evelyn, leave me alone. I'm in my shell.
That was a weird theater about her fucking that turtle.
It was a weird. But even when it goes back to you spot it, you got it. When she said, "You're Brad Pitt. Who do you think you are?" And I went, "But that's who you think you are, mm-hmm. Evelyn."
Yep. So. Anyway, she basically says she's kind of letting it wash over her, and he says, "You told me it was okay to see other people," and then she's like, "What do you want from me? Do you want me to say thank you for coming back?" And she's like, "What happened to her?" And he's like, "I cut ties with her." She finally says, "Take your stuff and leave. I want a divorce."
She said, "Take your stuff. I want to leave and get out. Get all your stuff out."
Yeah, which. We imagine is like a monthly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey's like, well, usually when we fight usually every night, I have to sleep in the other room.
Mm-hmm. And then she puts that little chastity thing around my dick.
Around my dick.
Box.
Usually we do that. This time she just told me to sleep outside.
So then she says, she's crying and she says, this is such a thing where she says, she texts him later. She's like, "You're a liar and a piece of garbage. Forget me." That is such a self-centered way to forget me. I know it will be hard for you.
Yeah. She definitely is like, she wants to torture him too.
And then she says, "I want him to suffer. I hope millions of mosquitoes bite him."
And I get it. She's angry in the moment.
I'm not saying she's wrong for saying that.
No.
But I'm saying that's an indicator of where we are.
Yeah.
So she's finally allowed him to sleep in the house. They are talking. She can barely manage anything.
We find out the next
day.
The next day.
Yeah.
He wakes up in the bed. Yeah. So they're talking again, and she's like, "If I see him, I want to." She said earlier, "I want to punch him," but she said, "I can't forgive him. My whole body's repelling him away." And Corey, and probably y'all, if you did something wrong in your life, and you need to see how do I give an apology, this is not the one to watch. Not at all. No. He kind of sits up there like a sad salamander, and he just kind of sits and he's like, "Hey, I made a big mistake."
Yeah.
And Evelyn's like, "I don't buy this." She said deep inside, this is the only true thing I think she said, when Evelyn said, "Deep inside, you don't regret anything you did."
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree, or you do?
No, I agree that he doesn't regret it.
I don't think he regrets it at all.
Because he says He thinks they were on a break.
And yes, but
Ross
also
and
too,
Rachel style.
I think if Jenny would have thrown him a bone and flirted with him more, he would have flirted back.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because Corey doesn't want to make anybody angry. So
that is his elemental weakness to Evelyn. That's why he will always be chained to her.
Always cuckold to her.
So, she says this feels like a betrayal. Because to her, y'all, I've said this before. She has this code of ethics that she will not do. But the thing is, she's accepted from it. So it's okay if she kind of sleeps with other guys in the town when they were quasi dating because they were on a break.
Or they weren't exclusive yet.
Exactly.
But when she literally threw him out and said, "We're done, move out of the country."
But the ethics of marriage superseded for her all of that.
Even
it's
though
always something.
But Corey, his ethics are determined by her.
Exactly.
So when she says, "We're done," he goes, "Okay, we're done."
And so she said,
and she said, we forgot to say this earlier. She said, "I thought when I told him to get out and to give him a break, he would realize how good he has it,
yes,
and come back to me."
Yes.
So she never wanted them to break up anyway. She just wanted to mind fuck him. It was a game, and she lost her game.
That's why I felt zero and I felt nothing.
Poodle felt nothing.
Nothing below the waist for the first time in 10 years.
The guy had a penis.
It was a big one.
But he felt nothing even when he cried those tears.
That's well done. Thank you for handling that. She says there's no more wedding. My mom is going to hate this idea of a divorce, and I don't know what to do anymore. And I have zero trust in you.
It was so hard for me to fall in love with you.
Leave a book a flight and go. And Corey's like, I think there's a strong possibility that our relationship is over.
We're having a surf competition tomorrow, so I'll do that, and then we'll see.
Y'all, I need a change of pace. So we're going to move on to stories that are actually fun. Like fucking Mama Sumit moving in with Jenny.
And maybe the best counselor we've ever seen on 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay, and I need to say this.
Save it. We're going to get to it.
I hate you.
After the break.
So, can one man, his parents, and a chicken share a house in India? Can she learn to be a dutiful Indian daughter-in-law? Only time will tell on The Fucked Up Couple.
The Fucked Up Couple.
If you don't know that's The Odd Couple,
It is.
that is... Neil Simon might sue us because he's extremely litigious.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's still alive.
Not now.
I think he is. Oh, we just murdered Neil
We
Simon.
just murdered Neil Simon. Sorry, Neil Simon.
Sorry.
Y'all, it's 101 ways not to marry Jenny. And he's getting down to the wire.
I'm going to say this. This episode, or this storyline that we saw, this was the most productive way towards getting to marry Jenny.
It was.
Now, it's going to backfire, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Because Mama Sumit is playing chess.
I feel
and Jenny's playing checkers.
I feel like this has become like a Disney movie, like a Parent Trap. Real quick, y'all, we're going to have a little announcement we forgot to mention. Plathville's probably going to be a day late this episode on the Patreon. We know it's the finale, but Poos is having a birthday on Wednesday,
and I don't want a podcast.
He's got a courtesan of men just that are going to line up out the door.
Cortege. Or that's a funeral line. Never mind.
Sure. Same thing if you're fucking poodle.
I'll kill you.
It has teeth, y'all, remember? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so she's taking the day off, so we're going to do the show. It'll go up on Thursday, just letting y'all know.
You got a problem with that, you can come at me.
Come at me.
You know what? I don't give a fuck.
Because you know what? People shouldn't have to do shit they don't want to do on their birthday.
I agree.
But Sumit. What's bad? He's going to have to marry Jenny
Then we're gonna
one
go to
day
a
or
counselor.
not.
We're gonna go to a counselor
This,
with your parents. Pick up.
who knew? I'll be honest. I don't know if this was just interesting or if it's just something's finally happening with them
This is the first time we've had any seismic
in like
movement.
2 seasons.
Yeah.
2 seasons. It's been a long fucking
Y'all,
time.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
I enjoyed it.
There's a little hope for Chicken Jenny.
Oh no, he's not going to marry her.
I agree, but
No.
I'm saying the show is now. We find out later, of course. Sumit's mother and father are going to move in with them. I can't even say it without laughing. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good.
I can't believe this was Mother Sumit's idea. But regardless, whoever came up with it on the
Whoever it
production
is.
team
Yeah.
needs a huge bonus. I'll suck your dick. I realize for some men that may not be a plus, and for women it's not a
Hey,
possibility.
gay men, we suck dick. If you're a straight man and you've never had your dick sucked by a gay man, don't knock it till you try it.
It is definitely a red letter day.
Oh,
That's something you should try.
You're gonna remember it.
And remember, it ain't cheating
If it's with Poodle. There you go.
Like our live shows, y'all, we're gonna have Poodle's playpen. Men dressed in the skimpiest things possible. So bring your husband, have him stripped down.
You're gonna get so many straight men that are gonna flirt
me too.
that are gonna flirt with you, and they're actually going to. You're gonna feel so dirty.
Doubtful. Doubtful. Have you met me? I'll give it right back to him.
Yeah.
Just remember, y'all.
I don't think you're
I'll
gonna
bring
give
him
them
back
anything
the next morning.
except for something they'll need antibiotic for.
Yeah, be vaccinated. Not just for
Not just COVID, but yeah.
Other tropical diseases too.
HPV.
I don't know
shot,
what's going on in here.
diphtheria. Yeah.
This whole area
Yeah, just
has seen the world.
kumquat disease.
When I ever go to my doctor, he's just always flummoxed. He's like,
Yeah.
"What's this?"
Can I take a picture of that again, Jake?
I need to go to my tropical manuals.
Wait, were you in Patagonia?
They've only found this
No,
in Tahiti.
Yeah, no, Palmdale. Same
You can
thing.
get a lot in Palmdale.
You do. Okay, so I can't believe it, but this family's going to a fucking counselor, and I can't believe
I'm
they got the
shocked
parents
that
to
the
go.
parents would go.
I am too. And so Jenny's like, "Oh, after hitting down the roadblock, we're going to family counseling." I can't believe it. And Sumit says to Jenny, he's like, I just want my mom to feel, I just want my mom to feel peace and calmness. And I went, and that's the problem. Because what your
You're thinking
mom
about your
feels
mom first.
is none of your business.
Thank you.
It doesn't concern you, Sumit.
You can't.
Get
You're not
off the
tip.
tip.
You're not responsible for your mother's happiness.
No.
Everybody listening out there.
This is 2 gay men who really had to work through that.
But
by the
no,
way.
you're not. Exactly. You're not responsible for your mother, your father, your
No.
grandfather, your aunts, your grandmother, any of their happiness.
Your brothers and sisters. Look, your parents brought you into this world. It was not your choice.
Right.
So how you respond to them is how you need to respond to them, and it needs to be your decision.
So the therapist asked, who I think is doing
great.
an extremely good job.
Sorry, that was very enthusiastic.
It was, and it kind of scared me.
She's great.
Oh, you scared me.
Scared me.
And the therapist says, I like how the mother said, you have to admit, it's a big age difference.
a big-
We don't do this in
We
India.
don't do this.
And the therapist says, I agree. It is a big, which that was so validating for Mama Sumit.
It was validating.
hear that.
And I think it was. And now, remember, it wasn't validating to Jenny, y'all, because she's lived here for 3 years and still can't speak any of the language. Is it a hard language to learn?
I think it's Hindi they're speaking.
Okay.
I could be wrong. You guys, please correct me.
Let us know, sissies, if you know.
But they kind of go out in between Hindi and English.
They do.
So I think she might understand a little bit more than she speaks it.
Well, something that I thought was...
But I'm sure Sumit only speaks English with her.
So something that gave me new information for me. That was helpful for me. And I don't know if Jenny heard this or not. But y'all, the mom and the dad, they speak and they talk about there are no nursing homes in India.
Yeah.
They're joint families and they live in a culture that
We're attached to each other.
they're attached to each other, and that when people get older, they're taken care of by their spouse, they're taken care of by their children.
Right. And so what Sumit is doing is rewriting those rules of how that works. And so I'm sure that's why it's such a big deal. And in India, customs, from what we know, customs are so heavily what people do, what culture does, you just do it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll be the outlier, and that's the worst thing to be.
And they didn't say this and pinpoint this, but they do in a way. They always talk about Jenny's age, but I'm surprised that I've always kind of thought, but wait, so do you not have a problem that Jenny's American?
And that's not it at all.
But they finally do say, though, because the mom said she
they
needs
want
to
her to
be
be
an
a good Indian daughter-in-law.
a good Indian daughter-in-law.
So
that's
I
coming
agree.
into play too.
And Dad says, this is interesting, what happens if your relationship with Jenny goes bad in 15 years?
And
what's going to happen to you because you're not married?
They ask Jenny, they say, Jenny, what's going to happen to you? And she goes,
I'll be fine with myself.
I don't need anybody else. Let's help. Just want help and nobody else. I'll just go back to the hen house.
And the mom is like, why don't you go now?
Yep.
I'll pay for the ticket.
If you can be alone, then can't you be alone now?
I will say,
can't you be alone now?
The mother shade in this episode was epic.
Oh. And so Sumit, they said, what about you, Sumit? He's like, I'll be fine. He's like, it's like they're setting a date, like, because how old is Jenny?
She's 60, isn't she? Plus.
Is she 65? Because she retired.
You can retire before 65.
I think
she's 60.
So
at least 60. I don't think she's in her 50s.
I don't even know how old she is.
Well, here I'll talk while you. So they what it's interesting. The mom says they're talking to her and she's like, I'm sad.
Oh. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Can you?
It's just so nice. Okay.
Anyway, remember when I asked not to talk over me?
Well, the thing just played.
So, the mom says, I'm sad. This is why I get angry. I think about you all day long, Sumit. And
God, she lays on the good.
And I will say, the therapist says to the mom and dad,
63.
Okay, I knew she was over 60.
60. And he's 30. That's in 20. Yeah, he's 60. She's 63, and he's 32.
Yeah, and the mom says, "Why she says to the mom, can you try to understand their love just for a minute?"
Yes,
and I guarantee you, no one's ever
said that to her. And I loved it when I loved when the counselor said, if you can't set aside your anger and emotion, then your love won't reach them. Mm-hmm. I went, I'm going to use that. That's a beautiful way of saying that.
Y'all, as soon as they said that, you saw Mama Sumit's head go, crick, 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 crick,
yep.
crick, 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 crick. And then she went, well, how about this?
How about this?
We shift, and I need to say she's a good Indian daughter-in-law. And we live with them, and I make her be a good Indian daughter-in-law.
Make her be a good Indian.
And Sumit looks like he is going to puke in his shoes.
He does, but at the same time, he's
turned on because he wants two mommies. Like Heather has two mommies.
He's eerily excited.
Yeah.
He's like, this is so...
Because we'll be honest, y'all, Jenny's a surrogate fucking mommy for him.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes. And the producer asked Sadhna, I believe is her name, asked Sadhna, the mother, and says, where'd you come up with this? And she said, I made it up in my mind. I want to live with him because I have an attachment to him, and he has an attachment to me.
Sumit, get off my boobie. Get off my boobie.
But get off, no. But it's that she basically, y'all, she knows he has a stronger bond with me than he does with her. And when I live there, I'm going to break them up.
And
I don't think her plan is to get Jenny to move back. Her plan is to get Sumit to turn against Jenny.
Totally. That's exactly it. And Jenny's like, I think they're trying to get me out of the country. They're not. They're slowly trying to get you back into their clutches.
Yes.
And make you realize that to be their son, you need to fulfill the wishes of your parents.
Yes.
And
Sumit is so stupid. He was like, I hope my mom doesn't want to create tension, but I'm so happy that they're finally supportive.
And he's
maybe
saying
it's a positive sign.
he's so happy that
He's such a fucking spineless wimp.
Agreed. And I will say, this is a brilliant move by Mama Sumit.
Oh.
I mean, she's an expert chess player. I'm here for it. So the next thing is they're at the
Speechless.
They're at the temple of Hanuman with all the monkeys. Who is the monkey god?
I just want to say, while they're talking and saying this, Jenny's just kind of leaning over, just hanging on to her Hare Krishna beads, just like going, they're not going to stay with us. They're not going to stay with us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How's the rest of it go?
So Jenny says, trust me, she's up to something.
There's a bunch of monkeys walking around, and I'm freaked out.
Now, did you notice all the fucking bananas that were on the floor? All I thought was the crew just dumped a bunch of bananas.
I think they did to pacify the monkeys so they wouldn't attack them.
Y'all,
monkeys are mean.
It got scary there because the monkeys
favorite line of the whole show.
One another.
These monkeys are getting a little close to me. They don't like chickens. Have you ever seen what a monkey does?
I've never seen this. There's a whole lot of monkeys.
I love chicken.
This was a moment where I laughed like a fool.
Fool.
This, I will say, y'all, this show with the editing and the people, there's a laugh that I do like nothing else on television for this show.
There's a reason why it's one of the highest ranked shows. It's a very good show. The Other Way is such a good iteration of this show.
I'm trying to think if there was another moment where I've laughed so hard. I think I laughed so hard when Stacy's extension flew off the boat.
Yeah.
But I laughed like a fool.
Yeah.
Just like an empty-headed fool.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So basically,
but it is shitty. Again, y'all, Sumit just basically agrees to this when Jenny can't speak the language.
Yeah.
And doesn't even ask Jenny if she's comfortable with this at all.
No.
And Jenny's like,
because this for him, this is a solution to his problems.
Yeah, and she says, I think she's gonna. She said, I think she's coming here to think I'm gonna make
why?
Jenny's life a living hell and get my son.
You know why? Because Sumit's not the bad guy anymore.
That's why he's so happy. Because that's so true. Because she says she's thinking I can come back to get my son, and Sumit says, but she is trying. She is going to give an effort, and that means a lot to me.
Yeah, he's putting it all on Jenny.
On Jenny.
In a way, it's even more sinister.
Yeah, because Jenny makes a good point. So they're going to come to my home and tell me how to live in my
and
house.
And they are, and I'm going to watch every minute of it and die.
Oh.
They should have seen with them cooking, y'all. Mama Sumit's going to be insufferable.
Insufferable. And Sumit even says, he's like, well, Jenny, I'm trying to do a lot, but you need to make some changes in your life as well. And I went, she moved to India. She quit her job.
Y'all,
she said goodbye to her family. That's where suddenly where Sumit went, oh, I'm at way 99. I've only got 2 more ways to not marry Jenny.
We're seeing phase 3 of this get Jenny away from him.
The fact that he now is, I think, truly gaslighting her and saying that she hasn't made changes.
That's all I got.
How much more do you want from me? I flew on a plane. Chickens don't like planes, but we can't fly, so I just feel inferior.
Can a man and his parents and a chicken live together.
She even said, sorry, I'm on it. But she even says, how do you expect so much from me? And she says, but you keep avoiding marrying me when that could solve all of this. But that doesn't solve everything. This is a person who, he says, I've done everything in my power. The person who didn't have a passport and was like, oh, yeah, I got to go get that.
And he's never given up anything. Remember all of this, you guys. She's moved here. He'll say he's given up so much.
No.
But he really hasn't.
He
compared
really
to what
hasn't.
she's given up.
Because he wants it all.
Yep.
If he gave up anything, he would say, sorry, Mom and Dad.
Fuck my parents.
I'm going on my own.
Yep. Shall we talk about the strangely...
Ending on a high note.
Strangely... I got emotional during this.
Yeah, it's very
mostly
sad.
for Benny, but I was amazed about how Ari handled this.
I was not amazed. Oh, I mean, I was, but I was impressed.
Me too.
I was impressed and shocked how nurturing Ari was to Benny when she was leaving him to take their child across the ocean and never see him again.
There were moments when she was trying that she became the Ari we all know, but she says
she's packing up to leave for a month.
To go to get the hernia operation for
the baby.
Avi.
And we should say, a lot of people come at us about this. Couple of things.
I was going to say, we don't know. We don't know if it was better for her insurance.
We never made an opinion.
Yeah.
At least I don't think remember saying
I'm gonna consider this irrelevant.
Yeah,
whether it is.
But sissies did say this isn't a surgery that you need to get done ASAP.
Yeah.
So it is immediate. So whether or not the care is better in Ethiopia, I was going to mention that. I was going to bring up, we had several sissies talk about that, like, especially in Ethiopian culture, that barbershops are considered like a sacred space.
Oh, from last episode.
Last episode. And so the fact that she did that to him and told him there in the middle of forever, so we had said it was shitty, but it just even don't think Ari's coming out a loving winner after this, y'all, because really what she did to him last episode was really fucking terrible.
Yep.
Really terrible.
The last week was one of her worst episodes, and this is coming from someone who brought their ex-husband over to stay with them.
Anyway, I just want to say that the place that she did it could not have been worse.
But I have to brag on her this week. She I know as much as I'm loath to. So what I was disturbed about, she's like, yeah, we're going tomorrow, and she's like, we were fighting, and he hid our passports, which that's a desperate move.
As
you
she
can
said,
tell how much Beanie does not want them
and she
to go.
said that was aggressive. That kind of bothered me. And I went, you just had your husband come here and sleep in your house. That's aggressive.
That's aggressive.
That's aggressive,
well,
girl.
But I understand.
But I get it.
But she's really
It feels controlling when someone does that.
She's really good at calling out things that are, as an American woman, feel aggressive to her.
It is, I think, a good word. It's kind of gut-wrenching watching how Benny is just spinning out of control here.
The in the moment when he broke down over his child that he hasn't seen.
Yes. And we still, we know that she brought him over. He hasn't seen this kid in 2 years before. Mm-hmm. And that that she went over for a similar thing. I think it was like she went over for a medical thing or something like that even. I forgot. A sissy emailed me about it. And I forgot.
No, I'm not sure what it was.
They sissies. It was on Instagram about, because a lot of y'all are kind of like us.
I think that was the marriage.
But they're a little.
You're right. Maybe I think it was a medical thing for the child.
It was something along those lines, because they did get married in the States, or they had a wedding ceremony.
That's when she did the choreographed dance routine.
We heard about that.
That I poo-pooed. Now, and people were talking about this, that they think it's okay if you do a dance thing at a reception. I'm all for it. This one that they did was serious. It wasn't just like tongue-in-cheek.
It wasn't good.
And fun. No, it wasn't. But it was a serious modern dance. No one wants to see that garbage.
No.
It's one thing if you're doing a dance to... you're the one that I want from Greece at your reception.
Just sit on a stool and
that
sing
you're
You've Got a
choreographed.
Friend in Me and call it a day.
Exactly.
So, but So it's still a little, but it is. We don't fully know. Like, it's still confusing me of why. But he hasn't seen his kid, y'all, in 2 years, and that's when he kind of we've
never seen emotion from him like that.
Yeah, it is really, really horrible.
So one thing that's interesting is she sits him down and she brings out a pad. She's like, she starts speaking Amharic to him. That is the language of Ethiopia, or the main language. And he's shocked because she's been learning it from Mimi, the nanny. But she really doesn't speak a lot of it.
No, she doesn't.
And so then she gives him a ring and says, "Forever family." And I wrote, good on you, Ari. You're understanding what he needs, and you're trying to show up there.
I think that really, really helped. And she even says, like, she opens his closet and she says, look at it.
No, she's doing her best.
She's like, look at all the clothes I'm leaving. Like, I'm coming back. She really wants to assure him. And so.
However, y'all, we already know that she gets in a fight over Zoom with him, and of course, she has a problem.
Oh, no. So they're going to the airport, and that's when Benny is like, how do I send her love? I've got to make peace with this.
I also need to say that Avi is another one of the cutest kids on the 90 Day.
He's like top 3. That kid is gorgeous.
I would agree. It's like
gorgeous.
Paul's kids.
That's so weird.
I know. Avi is up there.
Yeah.
Who else is up there?
Doesn't what's her name in Seattle? Russian.
They got a cute kid
they
too.
Have a cute kid too.
Yeah. But yeah, Avi's.
We're talking about Babe, and then Karini's. Her kids are gorgeous.
That's
too.
what Paul and Karini. That's what
Not Karini. Kalani.
Oh, those kids are cute.
The kids are gorgeous
yes.
too. But so Benny is crying. He's like saying, "Call me every day," and she leaves, and basically she says, "I will," and she leaves, and he's just sitting there watching her kind of in the rain.
It's heartbreaking.
It was beautifully filmed, actually, the way it was very sad. What is gross is that we see like next week on 90 Day Fiancé. Again, I will say this, and it's true. We don't love being right. Sometimes we do when it's like funny, but we said like whenever their season first premiered, if she gets over there, her family is never going to want her to go back to Ethiopia. And that piece of shit family, from what we see next week, at least the way the clip they show, is like when her sister said, okay, your little play thing, you had a baby in Ethiopia. Yeah, that was fun. Y'all, that's it. Ari's always been she's a different one. We read everything.
I guarantee her siblings are worse than Ari.
They all treat her like shit.
Yeah. Well, no, she's the fuck up of the family.
She's we called. Leander, we said they broke up because I bet they went to school. That's what happened. Like we have read her for filth.
No, we have.
That's the show.
That's the show.
Anything you want to say, Poodle, on your birthday week?
What do I want to say?
Well, that's it, everybody. We're going to go. We'll see you next week. Hey, go to realitygaze.com. Hey, we're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
We're on the TikTok.
We're on the TikTok. We're also on
the
Reddit. We're on Reddit. You can find us there. You can also find us on Cameo. We call these people Lonely Hearts Poots because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Stop touching your fucking thing.
Timer. I'm touching the timer.
Yes. And if you need to tell someone that you've cheated on them, drink coconuts. It's the best way. Just sip a little bit.
Wow. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Everybody loves my coconuts to suck on.
Big one, small one. I cheated on you with your wife.
That's it,
y'all.
Go the fuck home. Call us.